Probably has stocked reusable straws already, and I don't think it's Raul. A new year.
It is me. We have like 2 boxes.
Really?
Yeah,
Good job.
Yeah.
A new year means new laws.
Wendy Patrick is here with what we need to know in today's Inside the Law. Wendy, good morning.
Happy New Year. Good morning
Happy New Year
to
you. Okay, let's get to the straw ban because we've been hearing about this for so long. What are the rules now? You can still get a straw at a restaurant. You just have to ask for it?
That's right. The war on straws has been heating up over the last couple of years. People have talked about 3D straws, 3D printing straws, all the different ways to get around it. Here is the deal. This only applies, first of all, to complete dine-in restaurants. And it's not a complete ban. You can have one if you ask.
Oh.
They're simply not going to be provided as they have been with every single thing you order. And this does not apply to fast food, to delis, to cafes. Now, there have been cities like San Francisco that have banned straws, but San Diego so far, you're still going to be able to get one if you want one.
In restaurants, because people think, oh, I can't go to the supermarket and buy a straw and I'm going to stock up like we were doing.
Yeah.
You could still buy them and have them at the house.
You can, and we haven't gotten that far. What people worry about is this a trend, right? First the plastic bags, then the straws. You don't miss a good thing till it's gone.
Sure.
But so far, so good. You can still have them. You don't need to go stock up and have, 100 of them in your car to take in everywhere you go. You can still get one. Just ask.
I got
It's amazing what you can get if you ask.
You know, the metal ones. It's kind of cool.
I've heard about those reusable straws.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, I can imagine someone going through In-N-Out and not being able to get a straw. It would be horrible.
Yeah, no, you definitely have some backups with you at all times.
Yeah, let's talk about the changes with scooter safety. I know that we see them all over the roads. You're supposed to always be wearing a helmet. What's new with all of this?
Heather, this is so serious. Scooter safety. So these things are coming to an intersection near you if they're not already there. They are taking over San Diego County. They are widely used. They are taking a lot of business away from the popular ride shares that people are used to using. But the new laws say if you're 18 and over, you don't have to wear a helmet, and they've raised the speed limit 10 miles an hour. So these things are coming at you even faster now than they were before. So I don't want to say brace for impact like you're going to have an accident, but in order to really to withstand this new law, you have to make sure you keep an eye out for them. They impact everyone, not just the people on the scooters.
Explain the permit and license, because when I was out walking around this weekend, we were in downtown. My kids almost got run over a couple of times by people on scooters, but they were children. They were 8 or 9, 10 years old riding this thing, going way too fast, it seems to me. On the sidewalks where normally they don't even allow bikes.
They're not allowed on the sidewalks.
So what's this permit license thing? So little kids can't ride them anymore?
Well, children have to wear helmets. So they are bound by a different set of laws for their safety. But nobody's allowed to drive these scooters on the sidewalk. And I know our viewers might think, well, what are you talking about? I always see that happening. It's never been legal to ride these things on the sidewalk, and it still isn't. Yeah. My prediction would be, because we have more of these, we're going to be seeing really a trend into enforcing these new laws. New laws don't mean anything unless they're enforced. Nobody wants to see accidents happen. These laws are for the safety of the scooter riders as well as everyone else.
So in terms of the helmets, but can little kids, like can a 10 or 11-year-old get one of these things and ride it? Because I thought you have to have a permit or some sort of license to do that.
I would suggest that all parents who are considering buying one of these things or letting them ride the ones that are publicly available, make sure you read the fine print and know exactly which laws apply to you. There's really never a one-size-fits-all. That's why we have so many laws.
They go too fast.
They definitely do. Now they're going 10 miles an hour faster, Raul.
Well, I think you have to have your phone and an app to actually unlock it. So if your 10-year-old has a phone, then they're the ones that can get the
Okay, let's talk there's so many laws, we can't even pick one.
Hard to choose.
Women being appointed to board of directors, now you have to have at least one woman, and in a year or two you have to have at least 2 women. How does that work?
That's right. So this is a law that many people look at and say, gosh, this is long overdue, because women have been traditionally underrepresented in the boardroom. So they now have a seat at the table, but there's always pushback when you have laws like this. There are some that ask, well, is this practical or is it political? In other words, are we headed from the boardroom to the courtroom if we're going to be challenging this under equal protection laws? But here's the thing. The law doesn't say that this seat displaces a male seat. Maybe you add a seat. Many see this as a step in the right direction. Many people say this doesn't go far enough. Why don't we look demographically and see if maybe there aren't other categories that we are going to require? It attracts talent. Let's face it, there are some women who wouldn't have thought they stood a chance, because remember, only 25% of the companies here even have women publicly traded companies. That's what this applies to. So it's one of those new laws that everyone's watching very closely to see if it holds up, to see if it in fact does attract that kind of talent. Many people are hailing it as a step in the right direction, and if nothing else, it draws attention to the fact that women have been so traditionally underrepresented in the boardroom.
Yeah. Really quick, one last one. We're going to talk about pet stores and animals from rescues and shelters. What's changing here? I know a lot of people, our dogs and our pets are our family in San Diego.
Oh boy, they sure are. Amen to that. So you're right. The new laws, they really span from paychecks to puppies. Right. And this one has to do with dogs, cats, and rabbits that are bought in pet stores. Pet stores can no longer buy them from breeders. This law emphasizes protection over profits. As you mentioned, these animals have to come from shelters or rescues. It's a wonderful new law. California is a trailblazer in being the first state to institute one of these laws. Again, hopefully this will be enforced. They're going to have to prove where the animals came from. So buy your beautiful new pets and give them a new home because they have come from rescues and shelters.
We always have adoptable dogs on the segment, and a lot of them are puppies. I know that's what people are normally looking for. So these stores have such a great opportunity to get our rescues.
They sure do.
It's
good
news. By the way, here's what I love about this show. The police, our friends watching, just to reiterate, those scooters that almost knocked over my kids, you cannot ride those scooters on using the apps if you're a kid. You just cannot. You need to have a permit like you do for like a driver's permit for a vehicle, or you have to have a driver's license. So no more of these 8-year-olds driving on. No little kids on these bird scooters. Shout out to the PD.
Yeah. Right. Wendy Patrick, it's always great having you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Wendy. Happy New Year.
Thank you.